what made you want to create your business? And first off, let's talk about it, because I just, for a lot of people who are learning about you, they might not know about the Periscope and you, deciding to, hey, I no longer want to work at this one place and you're going to see me quit. They might just know you as this phenomenal entrepreneur now, right? And have you come across that where people know you from, they know you from TV,
right?
For
sure. Lots of different, or a viral video
or from your
something
podcast.
Like that. Yep, or my podcast.
Right? So now I want to just bring it back together. Your company, Inherent Learning Company, you are the CEO, and it is to help businesses grow.
Yep.
Why do you like helping so much?
Oh my gosh, you sound like my therapist. Oh, I'm trauma. I just want to heal my inner child.
Why do you, it's so beautiful, but I feel like throughout your journey, you're always helping. And I guess that's a beautiful hack, right? You do what you love.
Yeah, and it's just helping. And Nessa, you understand it because this is what you guys do for a living. Are you kidding me?
Right.
You can have all the talents in the world, all the giftings, and the truth is, if you're not leaving them behind, what is a legacy,
That's right.
And helping people is because so many things are gate kept. And if you are blessed to be invited into the room, I say this all the time, y'all should have never let me in here. You know what I mean? Half the time when I get invited to stuff, I'm like, why did they bring me here? I'm telling everybody. Yeah. Why'd you let me in the boardroom? I'm taking notes. I'm sitting here nodding okay. Then I leave and I'm like, all right, y'all come around. Here's what we really doing, And so that is I guess that's the joy of it is I get a little charge out of seeing more people who look like me, who think like me, get into these spaces of venture capital and, selling businesses and then going back with the secrets and saying, y'all, come in through
Here
this
are
way.
the secrets.
We know
That's
the secrets.
Right.
This is the way to do it. And that's always been who I am because I do also really, really believe, unlike what I think some people may try to perpetuate about the Black community, about Black women and women in general, that all the best help I've ever had has been from other Black women. Chapter 10 of my book is Black women are everything. I would not be here if it wasn't for Black women. And it's because every time I've been in a room, if there is a Black woman, she looks at me and she's like, girl, over here. You know what I mean? And she'll tell me everything from my wig has shifted to don't talk to this person to make sure you're here at this time. And no one's giving us the hacks. And I just always have wanted to be that for other women and other Black people and people of color.
How do you determine success in your company?
Well, I'm not successful if my people always need me. So that's a huge part of it. If I'm not training people to think like me and be able to make decisions and grow independent of me, then I'm actually not doing my job well. So you'll hear all the time in the internet space, people, I have sticky clients. My clients always come back and people never, ever leave me. But if you're empowering people well, they should be able to operate independently of you. It's kind of like parenting, right? If my kids never fly the coop, then did I even do my job well? You know what I mean?
Right. What does this all mean?
Yeah, what does this all mean? If they're here all the time, and they will be, but they should have someplace else to go. That is the goal.
Do you feel like, I don't know, when your clients come to you, they're in complete despair and they're looking, how does
I've had those. You want to hear a story?
Yes.
Yeah, I've had a few of those. So, I will get clients in any range. Some of my favorite ones, honestly, are the ones who are like, I don't even know what I want to do. I just know that I'm called to do something more. They're great because they are untarnished, unblemished. I can just start from scratch. We don't have to unlearn, right? The ones that I do best with are people who are like, I have a business. I have kind of done some work and I have a little bit of a name or I have an idea of dabbling. I just know I'm working hard and not really making what I should be making. I need the fine tuning. I need the gatekeeping codes. You know what I mean? I've done enough on my own, girl, help me.
Right.
But I will also get people who will come through the doors who will say look, I made $1 million this year. I haven't paid my taxes in 3 years.
Oh my.
I didn't know what I didn't know. And I just started and was making it up as I go. And I realize now you can't skip steps. And I need help with my back end. What is what? What is the difference between an accountant and a bookkeeper? Why do I need both? Just simple things where you don't even know what to Google. And I do get clients like that. And it's great to watch the turnaround because the answers are there and there's an answer for everything. There's no mess you can't get yourself out of.
How do you know the answers?
I've made a lot of mistakes. And I'm also fearless about asking questions. And I think that is probably what I really do is that I'm just asking questions. I know what to ask. And then once I take that piece of information, I usually know where to go with it. But I did this for corporate America for 10 years prior to going out on my own. And when you can play with like multi-billion-dollar corporate money and they'll come in and they'll be like, make it more, like it's pretty easy to do.
It's never enough.
It's never enough. You can do the dry cleaner down the street, at that point.
It's never going to be enough.
It's never
so
enough.
what were you doing before you became an entrepreneur, when you were working in corporate?
So when I worked in corporate, I worked in international healthcare. And so I would help create the product and then I would help sell the product. And so I needed to know everything from what the client needed to, sort of how to adapt it to fit their needs of their consumer. So you get to dabble in a lot of different areas. It's business development. Mm-hmm. And now I do the same thing. I just do it for different people. So it's interesting because people in this, there's a lot of coaches and consultants and, in the internet space, I feel like everyone kind of does that as a side hustle. But I literally do the same thing that I've been doing the same job for almost 20 years. But it's nice to do it for different people now because it's beautiful.
So people can come to you for different types of businesses. It's not
business is business. Yeah.
Okay.
It's foundational. It's like being a dentist. Everyone has a different mouth, but teeth are teeth. You know what I mean? So, and when it gets to an area where there's some like specialization, I can always tap someone else for that area. Mm-hmm. But there should always be someone who's kind of looking at your business from an overhead view, saying, okay, well, the core strategies, what are we trying to head towards? Have we hit these steps? What's the structure of our team? Do we have the right accounts? Is everything built in the right direction? What are we missing? Like those pieces are the same. It's why on the New York Stock Exchange, you'll see that all these companies are different industries, but they're all listed the same because we're measuring their money.
Yeah. Did you go, taking business courses?
Yeah.
Or is this just something?
It's so hands-on. Some of it's hands-on. And I think through the years, one of the beautiful things about being a consultant is that you touch a lot of businesses. So what I always find is I'll meet people who are excellent coaches and consultants in this space, but really it's industry specialization or it's specialization around their own experience. So I'll meet like great hairstylist coaches who are wonderful at helping other hairstylists grow their hairstyling business, but they don't know what to say to them about their taxes or their accounts or whatever else, or they try to branch into other industries because they're like, well, I'm just a business strategist. And you're like, you haven't touched enough different industries to really know what to look for. And so I'm just blessed because I got to play with corporate money. So I understand a lot of different companies compared to.
Did the corporate world want you back?
Yes. So true story. After I quit my job, 2 weeks later, they called me and they offered me close to double my salary. It was like multiple six figures to come back. And when they called me, I was sitting outside of like a strip mall. I was with my eldest daughter at the time, who was only probably maybe 17. And she was in the car. She knew about the whole you quit your job thing and everything. And I literally took the phone, I put it against my chest, and I looked at her and I said, they want me to go back. It's a lot more money. And at the time, I think I had maybe $11,000 in the bank, which is not a year's salary. And
Absolutely
I'm
not.
Like I'm working, I'm booked, things are looking great, but I'm also like, we don't
2
know.
weeks.
We all know 2 weeks into entrepreneurship, I want to quit everything. Right. I'm like, this is crazy, So I'm like, here they are calling my bluff. And she looked at me and she was like, don't take it. I would be disappointed in you if you took it.
Why? Why did she say that?
Because she remembers nights of her going to sleep and waking up and I'm still up working. And I'm not advocating for that. It shouldn't be like that for too long. Right. But everyone has a season in the beginning where you've got to put in the hours for it to count.
That's right.
You've got to knock down the doors. You've got to pitch. You've got to be humble. You have to sweep floors and pick up boxes. And I think that's what a lot of people forget is that humility that comes with those early weeks.
And it's needed.
It's needed. It's training ground. Like you can't skip those steps by just going on TikTok. You know? Like if you're on TikTok and you think you're too fancy to stay after the event to help clean up, then you're never going to really get all the fruits that come to you. You know what I mean? And so she saw me do all those pieces. And I think that for her, it was kind of like, if you go there, what was the point if you go back? Mm-hmm. And I was like, you're right. Like I honestly, if she wasn't there, I don't know if I would have taken it. You know what I mean?
I love that you listened to her.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's so beautiful to hear that story because a lot of times we hear about how parents never listen to the kids, right? Like it's like a whole thing now. Listen to your child. They're talking to.
It's news. It's like a thing. It's like training. I'm like, it's always been like that. Like they're actual people that say how they feel. Like if you just listen to them, they'll tell you.
But you actually listened.
I'm really fortunate. I adopted my girls.
Right.
So I almost feel like I've never biologically had a child. I hope to soon, but because I didn't, I feel like there's probably something different when you're looking at the child and they're acting like you, like there's gotta be a different energy there, where it's like, don't you tell me what I said, like a little bit of that, because I don't have that same energy with my girls. They've always been sort of independent beings separate from my body, and it doesn't mean that I'm not, look, this is our family values and this is what we believe and this is our integrity and all those things. But we have always been very communicative where it's like, how do you feel about that? Or they joke, what's your mom's favorite go-to phrase? Tell me more about that.
Yeah.
They're like, tell me more about that. Tell me more everything.
It's a great phrase.
It's a great phrase.
They're going to use that for the rest of their lives.
Literally, tell me more about that and Botox.
Right.
It will get you through the teenage years. Because Botox, my face won't show how I really feel. And then tell me more about that is just a flat statement where it's like, you can say anything crazy to me.
Tell me more.
Tell me more about that. Like, oh yeah, mom, so I met this guy and I'm really thinking like he wants to go out and this might be I will never forget when one of my daughters, I won't put her out there, told me she was ready to lose her virginity.
Oh my.
When I tell you, I was so thankful she felt, see, you hear the octave? I was so thankful. This is the reframe that she felt comfortable.
Absolutely.
To have it's every parent's dream that before it happens.
That you have this conversation.
Have the conversation. However, I was not ready. There's no readiness that will prepare you for that moment because in my head, I'm like, you're not 35. Why are we having this conversation? It's too soon.
Right.
It's too soon. It will be terrible. You don't know what you're saying right now.
You don't love him.
You don't love him. Trust me. You don't love him and he doesn't love you. And you cannot afford any of the outcomes of this situation. Right. And she's literally, but Botox. So I just straight face. And then, I just say to her, oh, so tell me more about that. And I just let her go. And it was great because as she was talking, well, yeah, because I really like him. And, I think I'm like at that age where it's like the right time. And so I was just letting her talk. And then finally she was like, I was like, well, what makes him the right person? Because I realized a lot of what she was saying was about how she felt she was ready.
Herself. Herself. She is amazing and she's great.
Of course. She was like, this is what I need. I was like, you tell me like what makes him the right person. She was like, well, honestly, I guess maybe it's just because he is the person right now. Maybe he's not. And I was just I was like, well, you tell me more about that.
Tell me more.
And then eventually she was like, yeah, no, maybe not. And it ended up not being him, which was great.
Oh my.
So, but like she talked herself out of it.